Danganronpa, shooty refuty, whatever you want to call it. We all know how big of an impact it's had on the visual novel industry. That's why in this episode of Danganronpa Deep Dive, we're going to look at some of the things that we never got, alongside some more cool facts of course. But before then, please subscribe and hit the bell, as only a small percentage of our viewers are subscribed. So if you enjoy, please do that. Now let's get these lost media stuff known about. Danganronpa's lost media. A good chunk of people already know about the original beta version of Danganronpa, so let's get this one out of the way. Distrust was originally a radical change from what we know as Danganronpa today, focusing more on a psycho shock aesthetic instead of the psycho pop we got, and with it a slew of ideas that never came to pass. For example, there is this concept art of Maizno and Leon using guns, and even her slashing Leon with a knife. Speaking of these two, there are concepts of them under the detention execution, suggesting that at one point, the cast might only have to face crushing as the method of execution. Speaking of executions, there is even a scrapped execution where a beta Junko is executed via a guillotine. Initially, the game was pitched as having a time limit of 7 days, and that the different routes would be chosen depending on whether the player trusts or distrusts a character enough, though this was scrapped in favour of being more linear. One of these routes had Kirigiri decapitated, with her head being in a box, and another route had her being impaled by spears as a result of Kazuo Matsuzaki, which was Leon's beta name. And you might be thinking about, why are you going on about this for so long? We already know this, we saw Mandy's video. Well, courtesy of SeriousSeiko, our editor, we have some new, never seen before, at least online, screenshots for Distrust from one of the more overlooked art books. So here it is, in all its glory. Moving on, there were pitches for more Danganronpa-related light novels to be considered for creation, but nothing has come to be at this time, and no clue if this will be changed. One of these lost pitches is Danganronpa Jufufu, or perhaps better to call it Danganronpa Yamada. As the name suggests, it was supposed to centre around the doujin artist himself, Yamada Hifumi, made by the author of Danganronpa Tagami, Yuya Sato. It would have taken place at Comiket as what was told in his free time events. The idea was rejected by Kodaka, who asked Sato if he could write the plot for Danganronpa Tagami instead. It would have been an interesting read, I'll say, and if you're wondering about the title, that's Hifumi's Japanese laugh. From there was also talk of Sato creating a light novel based around Rentaro Omami in search of his sisters. Kitayama, the creator of Danganronpa Kirigiri, wished to write a Danganronpa Yumeno as a sort of antithesis to Japanese drama. They also discussed that fans wanted to see a Danganronpa Shinguji spin-off as well. Another bit of lost media that was hard to find were the two final Danganronpa 3 drama CDs. These Danganronpa 3 drama CDs, numbers 3 and 4, were only available if you pre-purchased all the Danganronpa 3 Blu-rays from a specific store back in 2016, and not a lot were made, courtesy of SeriousSeiko once again for finding them. They will be uploaded alongside the first 2 discs in a video coming out after this. Finally, there also exists a
I'll take over from here, commoner.
Byakuya Tagami? What are you doing here?
What a foolish question. I'm here to talk about lost media, of course. The creator of Danganronpa Kirigiri also created a sound novel game for the Danganronpa 3 box sets. In order to create hype for it, after I saved Makoto Naegi from death at the end of Danganronpa 3 Future Arc Episode 12, directly after that there was a short advertisement for the game. It had me, Byakuya Togami, talking about the game and showing off some screenshots for it. Thankfully Jinjo just documented it, but this advertisement was apparently never aired again. Fortunately, thanks to the efforts of SeriousSeiko, today we have found it, alongside 10 other advertisements all in high quality. Who knew luck could truly be a talent? These advertisements will be shown off in their own separate video, so please watch them. It would be worth it, of course. I'll stake the Tagami name on it. Now, onto the next fact.
Oh, okay. Well, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about, but I'll save it for another video. It's a real mystery. Perhaps in the next episode. Anyway, on to the next fact it is. Psychic Powers Part 2. As an addendum to the last episode, there were some things we apparently forgot to mention, such as Kamaru, or possibly Toko, being able to fly, as seen at the ending of Ultra Despair Girls when they are suddenly floating in the air. In Killer Killer, Mimiko Tomizawa has the ability to summon a stand, which looks like a samurai. For a deeper explanation of stands, please watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Lastly, apparently Mikuro has Ultra Instinct too, as shown here. For more information on Ultra Instinct, please watch Dragon Ball Super. Now on to the next fact. Anti-piracy message. With the meme going on around with the fake anti-piracy messages, I thought it would be a decent enough time to show off the actual anti-piracy message. It was only in the Sony handheld editions of Danganronpa 2, but here it is. Today's second last fact. Dual Noirs. Killing games. We've had the courtroom settings of the class trial, the Zero Escape-esque Monokuma Hunter, as well as numerous other hunting killing games depicted in another episode, Danganronpa Tagami and Danganronpa Killer Killer. However, for Danganronpa Kirigiri, their preferred killing game is the Dual Noir. The Dual Noir was created by the Victims' Catharsis Committee, as a way for victims of crimes to get catharsis on those who wronged them. It also had a secondary goal of finding the perfect detective, to stop the biggest worst incident in the history of mankind before it happened. But I'll leave the details about that vague for now. The catharsis being offered was killing in the most game-esque way possible. How the Dual Noir works is that the player, aka the culprit, must not only kill their target, but get away with the deed by avoiding the detective that's assigned to their case, and who also doesn't know that they're the culprit. In order to be as successful as possible, the culprit can purchase weapons and tricks, ranging from metal bats that can't be traced back to them, to even entire locked room mysteries, with the buildings to go along with them. The catch to this is that all these items come with quite the hefty price, which are only granted to the culprit since they are being purchased via money by backers of the Victims' Catharsis Committee, who are secretly watching how the Dual Noir plays out. However, if the culprit is found out, they will be forced to pay the grand total, which if they can't pay back in full, well, let's just say the Victims' Catharsis Committee has good life insurance. The culprit's life, that is. On the flip side, if they win, they get to win all the money that they used for the Dual Noir, alongside a chance to change their name and start a new life. Speaking of victory conditions, the culprit wins if they kill their target and avoid the detective, who has a 160-hour time limit to solve the Dual Noir mystery. In addition, the culprit cannot harm or kill the assigned detective, otherwise it's an automatic disqualification. But the culprit can bring in as many people as needed to help out with their trick, to kill them, or to do whatever they want with them. The detective is chosen via how much the Dual Noir costs, as they always come from a detective library, and receive a black letter with pretty much all the information about the Dual Noir on it. Speaking of the detective library, the last fact for today is about the detective library. The detective library was founded by Mikado Shinsen and Fujito Kirigiri. It contains files for over 65,000 detectives, serving as an easy way for the public to choose a suitable detective for their needs. Detectives that registered there have their public information displayed for anyone to view, and to help choose which detective they want to call upon. The detectives that register there are given an ID card and DSC number. DSC stands for Detective Shelf Collection. The DSC number contains 3 numbers. From left to right, the first number is a classification, meaning what expertise a detective specialises in. For example, 1 is religious crime and 9 is homicide. The second of the 3 numbers goes into more detail on what the detective handles under their classification. For example, 1 is for religious crime, and the detective under that class just specialises in handling cultists. The third and final number is ranking. Detectives who just start out are ranked number 9, with the highest rank being 1. However, if the detectives are capable enough with their ranking, their numbers can become a 0, meaning that they've mastered their craft and classification. Those that do, such as Susei Nanamura, are regarded as pretty famous. Even then, if one is talented enough, they can become a 000, meaning that they are legends that can do whatever case is thrown at them, regardless of their classification. However, only 4 people have ever gotten to this point: Mikado Shinsen, Johnny Arp, Geka Ryozuji, and Rei Mikigami. And that should do it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed, and leave a comment with more obscure lore you want to see highlighted. And of course, if we missed anything again, we will cover it in another episode, so let us know if we missed anything. Big thanks to Togpoggers who played Byakuya Tagami. Check him out on Twitter here. Also a big thanks to our editor SeriousSeiko for finding all this cool stuff too. If you want to see more of this type of thing, leave a like and make sure you subscribe. It all helps out. Until next time, have a good day everyone.